everyone, welcome to your weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Nerbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now I don't know about you, but I am busy getting ready for the Christmas season. We have put up our tree, we've started shopping for some of our friends and family, and we're just really looking forward to wrapping some of those presents together. So my kids are 7 and 8 right now, and this is probably one of the first Christmases that they're really thinking outside the box and trying to think of things that people would really like. So most of their gifts are going to be hand drawings, but they've also started creating some ornaments that, bless their hearts, those grandmas are going to put on their trees, and I told them we would make some tags for them to put on their presents. So speaking of tags, I thought I would play with one today on our video and show you how to just make a very simple but elegant card using some of your designer series paper. So really you can do these tags with anything you own. It doesn't have to be the suite that I'm showing you. Stampin' Up has a whole plethora of projects and papers that you probably have in your stash already, and maybe this is just giving you an idea of what to do with them. I do have one fun little technique though that I'd like to show you, and that's how to get this ombre look on your tag. So I know you can't see it quite as well as I can because you're not right up close, but it does have a nice dark green and an old olive kind of fade in there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The rest of the project is up to you. I will show you what projects or materials I used, and of course you can always purchase those via my online store, lauranerbonis.stampinup.net, or you can go and check them out just to see them a little bit better than what I'm going to show you on screen here. So this is an online exclusive suite. It was released back in June, I believe, 2024, and it is still available. That's what I'm really appreciating about these online exclusives, is they haven't really been selling out of the really popular items. They've just been replenishing them. So some things might go on, the unavailable status for a while, but they are coming back, and it's given us a really nice opportunity to play with these items for a little bit longer period of time. So here is the suite in kind of its essence, and then of course you can buy all of these pieces individually. You don't have to order them all at once. The Garden Greenery stamp set. There's some really beautiful bells and bows. There are coordinating dies, and I've taken a few of them out because I'm going to show you that they complement some of the designer series paper. These bells actually also complement both the stamp sets and the designer paper, but there's one stamp set that's part of the suite. Here's the second bundle. These, of course, this one you don't have to purchase them together, but if you do get a 10% discount. So here's the Greetings of the Season dies, which you can see are mostly tags. We're going to use 3 of those sizes, maybe 4 even, on today's project. And then if you wanted just a beautiful sentiment stamp, this would be what you're looking for. I like this to and from. I'm going to put that on the back of my tag, but of course I could use a sentiment from here for my project as well. I'm not, because I actually wanted to showcase this Sending Lots of Love and where that's from. It is another online exclusive, and I'm going to show that to you in just a second, but let's keep going. I do not have a lot of this paper left, so I apologize. This is a beautiful package of double-sided 12 by 12 packages. There's a gold shimmer on the one side pattern, and then a very neutral or kind of matte look on the other. But you can see I have literally chopped this package to pieces. I don't have much left. That's a kind of solid designer paper. There is also vellum with printed patterns. There are these leaves which coordinate with this die right here. There's kind of a snowflake looking vellum in the background, and then there are also these bows. There's one die to complement that. There's kind of snow covered ones and plain ones. In this package, there are 2 sheets of each of these 3, but that is lots, and you can get tons. You can see how many of these leaves you could get out of this package. So that's a lot. There is also some, a few embellishments and I think a ribbon that complement the suite. I'm not using them on today's project, but you can check it out, of course, and you can get those all at once if you want, or just in bits and pieces. Now, stamp set that I wanted to show, Sending Lots of Love, this is one that was released in November of 2024, which is very close to now, and it's a Valentine's set, but it doesn't have to be. You can also use it for all sorts of other things. You have a nice to and from that I also could have used on the back of this tag. Even this, my heart belongs to you, or love you, they don't have to be Valentine's sentiments. They can be thinking of you sentiments, and Christmas is the perfect time to give things. Pretty much the only thing that you couldn't really use for anything else is Happy Valentine's Day, but you're going to see this in action soon, and we'll do some Valentine's projects with it later. All right, let's get crafting. Let me show you what I have prepped. If you own the suite, you can copy. If not, enjoy, and you can see this technique. All right, so I have cut with that largest tag die 2 of my designer series papers. Of course, they have gorgeous patterns on both sides. You could use whatever pattern you like, but whichever combination you like, we're going to connect those just briefly. All I'm doing is putting a tiny bit of adhesive up near the top of my back piece. That's going to keep my pieces together, but give me the illusion that my tag is just beautifully offset. All right, so line up your circles together and then just slightly offset. That guy there. See, this is loose. It still makes it seem like it's loose. Ready to go. Next, we're going to do some stamping because this is our next piece that needs to go on. Okay, so here's the fun technique I want to show you. I actually have 2 techniques because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to show you. So I'm going to show you both. The first one is using ink. So I have chosen Old Olive and Garden Green to use for my card today. They're very similar. They both show up in this paper, but there's slight differences that when you're up close, you'll be able to see the difference. So what you want is you're going to start with the lightest one. In my case, that is Old Olive. We're going to ink the entire sentiment. Then you're going to come with your darker one. This is Garden Green. I'm going to leave it on the desk. And I'm just going to ink up the 2 sides. Then you can stamp it. Oh, I want a little bit of darker green. A little bit more. There we go. You can stamp it just like that. So you can briefly see it. It looks like it's faded, but it's done on purpose. It's a nice ombre look. Now let's say you have embossing powders and you want to do something fun with them. I would like to show you one thing that you could do with embossing powders instead of 2 ink colors. So let me clean this. And I'm just going to do that on a scrap paper because I'm going to use this one for my card. I've already decided. But while we're here, we might as well have some fun and learn something new. Okay, here we go. Scrap piece of paper. We need our sentiment. We need a Versamark ink. And you need 2 different colors of embossing powder. I would suggest 2 different ones. So I'm going to go with copper and silver, or I could go gold and silver. I could go gold and copper, but those 2 look very similar, so I probably don't want to do that. Let's try gold and silver. That will look pretty, and you do need your tray. All right, inking up. With the Versamark, and then you're going to have to do this one at a time. So we've got our gold. We're going to start with that. And instead of dumping like all over like we usually do, you're just going to dump on the edge of your sentiment. So I've only covered part of it. See, I've done a really blotchy job. I've only done the two sides, okay? Tap that off and then switch. You do want to use Versamart because it'll give you a couple seconds to work here, or you could have two trays going. And then you're going to do silver right in the middle. So that's going to fill in any blanks. Now I know this doesn't look very important at the moment, but let me heat it. I'm going to heat it on the ground because it's just easier. And I'll come back with this and show it to you. Oh, maybe it'll work. Okay. There we go. Do you see the difference now? Went from that really dull look to something super shiny and two-toned. We've got two tones in there. I first learned of this idea, and I don't know even who to give credit for because the photo wasn't watermarked, but somebody on our demonstrator site posted for Halloween where she embossed the middle of a sentiment in silver and then put black on either side of a Halloween sentiment, and it looked so stunning. So that's where I'm reinventing this from. I could cut this out and make this into a banner too. So it's your choice, embossing or ink, whatever works for you. Your little tag here, where once again I'm going to line up those circles, but I like to attach the top of it again just so it's in line with where I want it to be. Going to have that coming off the edge. Then I get to decorate. So I cut two of those vellum leaves out, one of the light green, one of the dark green, and I'm going to use a little glue dot to add those on. Actually, I think I'll do the light one first. The light one is wider, it's a larger leaf, so I put that one kind of underneath the tag, tucked it under a bit. I might just trim off some of this stem. It's bumping into my adhesive. I want it tucked. There we go. There's one. Then I'm going to take the darker leaf, and we're just putting one little glue dot on the back here and adding this behind here. Now my bells, these guys, of course, I could have stamped with the gorgeous stamp set, but some of the paper has these really nice bells already done. You do have to fussy cut this one because the bell dies are for the large and small bells individually. So this one I fussy cut. Came from this large sheet, which actually we used as the background. I cut my background piece out of that. And then I cut this little bell out. Now I will caution you, if you're just cutting the bells out of this piece, you might end up wasting most of the paper. So you'd have to fussy cut like all of these as well to make it worthwhile. But for one very special person and one very special project, it's a good idea. My alternative probably, if I run out of these bells, is just to stamp some of my own in gold and to add those onto the top of a project. I could even cut out like a little bow from something else too. So it doesn't really matter. But this guy I fussy cut. I'm going to pop it up with a dimensional just right on top of those leaves. Oh, maybe my sentiment's up a little further. I think you're gonna have to move up a little further. Maybe you're gonna have to angle. There we go. We'll angle those bells. That looks cute too. Now for my ribbon, I'm going to warn you, we have a really beautiful cherry cobbler with gold trim ribbon that's in our catalog right now, but unfortunately it has been unavailable for quite some time and I haven't been able to get my hands on it. So I just dug in my stash to find something similar. This one is kind of a cherry cobbler mixed with copper, and it was from 1 or 2 years ago. Okay, so you can use ribbon from your stash. It's okay. If you want something similar and you don't have it, there is one, and it's supposed to be coming back into stock right away. So I just wanted to do this video though, so I didn't have time to wait. Okay, we're gonna feed this through that tiny little hole, which is very tricky with this one. I don't know why, it likes to fray. So I keep mine on the roll because this ugly part, once it's through, is going to get trimmed off. And I'm going to start fresh with something else here. So shiny and pretty. Then you can grab some of your gold twine that we have available online or from your collection, and we're going to use that to tie a little bow, but I lost my gold twine. Give me a second. Ah, here it is. I found it. Hiding. It's almost like it does not want to be used. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to use that just to tie a little bit of a bow around my ribbon. I like to start with a knot, and that kind of keeps things anchored for me to tie my bow, but it's up to you if you want to go straight into the bow making, go for it. Bows on camera don't like to work. Oh, there we go. I did it. Okay, there's one, there's two. I like to leave them cut a little long because then you can always come and trim a bit more off later, but for now I'm happy with that. Last but not least for this guy, I wanted something on the back of my tag so that I could write. So this is another one of the tag dies, and I simply mounted the to and from our stamp set, that Greetings of the Season stamp set. They don't come together, but I put them on the same block. And I'm going to use Garden Green because that's kind of one of the predominant colors in here. So to and from, right in the back. And this one we're going to pop up on dimensionals because that'll give it a bit of life here. This one does have the little circle on top. We're not going to line it up. You could, if you wanted, you could have included it in the initial assembly, but I just thought mounting it to the back was fine as well. So there you go. There are your little tags. Nice and pretty for the holidays. Maybe if you're not quite sure where these are going, you could attach just an extra little bit of your gold twine, something that you could easily tape onto a project, but you can also just put a piece of tape over top of this ribbon, or you could put like a little glue dot on the top of your tag and just stick it right onto a present. Okay, so don't be afraid to make the tags, but you also don't have to finish them all if you want to wait and put it onto something later. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have subscribed to my channel, and I would love if you don't mind just clicking that like button on this video. It does really help me. I look forward to crafting with you again next Tuesday on another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.